The writing's on the wall when it comes to Battlefield 5's Firestorm game mode. This Battle Royale mode is dying, or already dead depending on what platform and region you play. I play on PC in North America, and the vast majority of games I now attempt to match into take me over 4 minutes of looking for a server and ultimately land me into a European-based game where I have upwards of 170 ping. Remember, this isn't a 100-player Battle Royale, it's a 64-player Battle Royale, and I've only played one game based in North America in my last 10 attempts to matchmake. Also, playing at 170 ping is virtually unplayable since anything over 150 ping uses a different compensation netcode to disincentivize players from joining matches outside of their region. This is generally a good feature, it's just disastrous if you can't find a local game. Some players in Oceania regions like Australia, New Zealand have never been able to match into low ping servers, and now the inability to find servers is spreading around to the rest of the world. The big problem, of course, is that the North American region of gamers is, well, massive. And if DICE can't populate a PCNA server for their game mode, then the mode is probably past the point of no return. Recently, EA's CFO Blake Jorgensen propped up Firestorm like it was a huge success, touting how it brought 1 million players back to the franchise. And then CEO Andrew Wilson talked about how it was the largest live service event ever for a Battlefield game. And while these statements might sound impressive on the surface, they mean virtually nothing in today's turbulent marketplace. If 1 million players did in fact return to the franchise to try out Firestorm, they clearly didn't stick around for long. Now, why is this? For the most part, Firestorm is actually a really enjoyable game with some rough edges. We could certainly blame things like the initial bugs or the still painfully broken looting system where items fall through the world and clip into walls. These are still issues that need addressing, but even with the bugs, Firestorm is a fun, intense experience that brings a slightly different take to the Battle Royale world. One problem could definitely be the fact that the game didn't set itself apart from other Battle Royale experiences in a significant way. It's kind of like PUBG, it's kind of like Blackout, but other than destruction, it hasn't really innovated the franchise in any massive way. Though you may argue that Battle Royales don't need massive innovation, but instead refinement. You could also argue that 1 million players in addition to the active player base really isn't that many people, especially to sustain a Battle Royale game that's fighting with its core gameplay experience. Even the more popular Battlefield games have had on average maybe 140,000 peak players on any given day. Once you start to divide that into many different game modes and regions, that number is far less impressive and far less sustainable for large format game modes. With Battlefield 5 having underperformed in sales, I'm sure that number is significantly lower, though DICE stopped allowing websites to track their active player population, most likely since it would be used to frame them negatively if their games weren't doing well. And although we can spend hours getting into the game's nuances and design meta, ultimately, Firestorm, in my opinion, is a highly enjoyable experience, and the problem has nothing to do with the game design, but rather how it's been distributed into the world. Firestorm has a launch platform that may have worked maybe even 1 year ago, but so many things have changed in that period of time. Blackout, in my opinion, is the last AAA Battle Royale game that was able to hold its own at launch, at least for a little while. But once Apex launched, the competition for free-to-play Battle Royales reached a whole new level. Even Blackout was forced to do a completely free trial month for anyone who wanted to try out the game. Looking at Firestorm, the only way to play the game right now is through Origin Premier or buying the entire retail package of Battlefield 5. Now, if you're thrifty, you might be able to find this game for a reasonable discount somewhere, but the standard retail price listed on their store is still $59.99 for the standard edition of the game and $79.99 for the deluxe edition. Now, of course, the entry fee gets you access to a lot more than just a Battle Royale game. There's a single player, multiplayer, co-op, and whatnot, but with the nature of Battle Royales, people just want to play the Battle Royale and generally have little interest in any other additional features beyond that. So not having a way to only get access to the Battle Royale portion of the game at a discounted rate or even a free rate basically stifles Firestorm's adoption among some of the fiercest gaming competition in history. Apex Legends is free, it's AAA, it got 40 million players in its first week of release and has tons of new cosmetic gear, map changes, and additions to the game being released all the time. Maybe not quite at the breakneck pace of Fortnite, but it's still a very impressive game, and this is what Firestorm is directly going up against. And then of course there's PUBG, which has a highly discounted entry fee compared to Firestorm, has been around for a long time, and it's got a very refined meta and dedicated player base with the more realistic military shooter approach, something that Battlefield definitely caters to, but is again going up against a game that's had years of refinement at this point. And while I sit here watching Firestorm's queue times rise or become totally unplayable, DICE is announcing new content for the game mode, like big map changes and new additions. And while this might be exciting if the game was popular and, well, frankly, playable, it isn't. So literally my reaction to hearing news about new content for Firestorm is basically anger, because I know I won't be able to enjoy the new features or the new content since I won't be able to play it. DICE has yet to make any official statements regarding their plans for the future of Firestorm when it comes to maintaining a healthy player base. They have access to the numbers and probably know much better than anyone that the mode is quickly becoming unplayable. And instead of coming up with a plan or letting the community know that they have a plan for dealing with this issue, their corporate higher-ups release hollow statements about how successful the mode has been and make announcements for new content. Even before Firestorm was released, many members of the community could see the flawed release strategy and let DICE know that it wasn't going to work. A full paid battle royale, no matter how cool it is, can't compete in the new world of free-to-play AAA shooters. It just can't. It's clear to me and many others at this point that the only way to save Firestorm, which is definitely worth saving in my opinion, is to make that portion of the game free. DICE now has a microtransaction system in place for cosmetics. Many of them are good enough to inspire serious players to spend some money on them, and this sales strategy has proven itself in Apex and Fortnite and many other gaming marketplaces. Not to mention, with the massive player population boost of making Firestorm free to play, there would probably be a lot more players who are willing to pay full retail price for the base game, because they like the gunplay of Battlefield 5, they want to try it out more, get better with it, you're going to get more sales. This actually happened with Titanfall 2 when Apex Legends came out. A lot of players bought Titanfall 2 to try it out, see what it was like, because it was similar in many ways to Apex, or existed within the same world. And then of course there is the massive free marketing opportunity that DICE is missing out on by not having this mode playable right now, and that is streamers and YouTubers. I remember the day I was trying to stream Firestorm and could not find any servers, any North American servers, and people in my chat were saying, guess what? Dr. Disrespect tried to do the exact same thing earlier today, couldn't get into a match, and stopped playing the game. If these big profile streamers, and I'm certainly not counting myself in that realm, but big profile streamers like Dr. Disrespect want to play Firestorm and can't play Firestorm because there's no population there, you're missing out on tons and tons of marketing dollars. That's free marketing, free advertising. YouTube and Twitch has been massively instrumental to the gaming industry in terms of promoting their games, and has allowed many indie games to succeed in huge ways because of how fun the games have been and how streamable they have been. By not making Firestorm free to play or bolstering its population that North American streamers can actually stream the game regularly, you're missing out on just massive marketing opportunities. Now, I would certainly understand if DICE actually did have plans for Firestorm in the future, making it, say, free to play and bolstering that player population, but that they don't want to talk about it yet because maybe they're not ready to implement that plan. Maybe they're working on it and it's still a few months out. Then it wouldn't make sense to talk about it becoming free to play in the future because people will stop buying the game right now and they don't want to miss out on those sales. So maybe there is a potential for that in the future and they can't talk about it right now. That's definitely standard corporate practice for many things. Hopefully that is the case for the most part. Hopefully they do have a good plan in place here and they can save this game mode and hopefully give it a good future. Because I think the Battlefield Battle Royale is a very cool concept. I just don't think it's something that jives that well with the base game. And putting them both under the same paywall package has been a mistake and something that just can't compete with the current market right now. And I hope that people at DICE realize this and have a plan moving forward, because I want to play more Firestorm and I can't play more Firestorm, and that's a sad realization. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about the Firestorm situation in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.